As Jehovah's servants, nothing brings us greater joy than worshiping the true God. But we are also human. This means that from time to time, any of us can and probably will experience unsettling moments, times when we question our worth. For example, have you ever wondered about your true value in Jehovah's eyes? Have you ever experienced moments of anxiety about your place in His organization? Or have you struggled with feelings of worthlessness? Such thoughts can erode our joy, and we might even begin to doubt our personal worth to Jehovah. These can arise from factors such as guilt over the fact that we cannot do more in the ministry or in the congregation, fear of the future, of being separated from the ones we know and love, and despair from being overlooked, feeling that we don't really matter. Disquieting thoughts are real and can overwhelm us at times. They can rob us of our inner peace and our sleep. And if we're not careful, they can even stifle our prayers, damaging our relationship with Jehovah. Nothing would make Satan happier. We never want that to happen, especially now, since this old world is so near to closing.
This old world is so near to closing. Wow, that's a new one, Mark Noumair. I haven't heard it described in quite that way before. It used to be that the world was ending, or Satan's system was ending. Now it's closing, like there's some kind of clearance sale. So yes, beware the world closing, which we know is going to happen soon. We can't be more definitive than that, unfortunately. But wow, what a fascinating way for Mark Noumair to begin the JW Broadcasting episode for May 2023. His theme, how does Jehovah value us? And what he's essentially done is list all of the inevitable results of being a Jehovah's Witness. He's listing the problems of being a Jehovah's Witness, and then the rest of his talk will attempt to solve them. But the obvious solution that's staring everyone in the face is just don't become a Jehovah's Witness to begin with if it's going to give you all of these problems. So I was just kind of making a list as he was talking. I'm not exaggerating here. He's listed as a consequence of being a Jehovah's Witness, or as typical problems that Jehovah's Witnesses might have to deal with, to put it more accurately, unsettling moments, questioning one's worth, or feelings of worthlessness. Who'd imagine that a group that tells us that we are dust, who'd imagine that they'd have feelings of worthlessness? Anxiety, guilt over not doing enough. Well, there's a surprise. I mean, in our last episode, the April 2023 episode, you had a father of two feeling bad because he wasn't pioneering. So he gave up his job as a builder in order to pioneer, even though he had two young children to think about. Thumbnail here if Tibor is gracious. Is it any wonder that Jehovah's Witnesses are experiencing feelings of worthlessness when the bar is set so high that a father can't just enjoy being a father and commit himself to looking after his family without thinking, you know what, I'd better pioneer. I'd better devote 50 hours of my time every month to doing voluntary work. recruiting people to the religion that I'm in. Is it any wonder? Continuing the list, fear of being separated from loved ones. Another thing that Mark Noumair listed. Is it any surprise in a group that weaponizes your family against you if you start questioning the leadership, if you start questioning the teachings, or if you go against what the governing body expect of you in some way? Is it any surprise whatsoever that people are terrified of perhaps being separated from their loved ones, either because they've been disfellowshipped or disassociated, or because their loved one ends up getting disfellowshipped or disassociated? Is it any wonder? Despair from being overlooked and feeling like we don't really matter. It's an organization that says we come first. Your whole life is about serving Jehovah and serving his organization. You don't really matter in the grand scheme of things so long as Jehovah's will gets done. Is it any wonder that people end up feeling like they don't really matter in that kind of toxic theology?